Hey, Brian, guess what's this weekend? It's that time. It's time. It's
The
East River Comics and Collectible
show.
Yes, this weekend at the American Legion in Enfield. You will be there, I understand.
And you will be there too.
I will be. I'll be at the door. I'll be greeting everybody as they come in.
He's a bouncer.
With this smile, we'll be greeting everybody at 8:30 in the morning. I'll be wide awake and greeting everybody.
You're going to be late.
They come in.
You won't be there on time.
I'll be there on time.
You won't.
I will.
You won't.
I will be.
Yes. I tons of comics. I'm going to tons of new comics, newer comics, and that's all I'm bringing is comics this time.
Cool. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Next week I'll be talking about my other show, but please join us this Sunday at 9 a.m.'s Earlybird for $3. 10 a.m. is $1 to 3 p.m. at the American Legion in Enfield, Connecticut. The East of the River comic book collectible show. Please join us. It's going to be a great time. A lot of cool stuff. You got toys and comics and some great finds. So
all sorts of stuff. Check it out. Come on down. See Brian and myself. Ryan will be there and a bunch of other friends of the show. So we'll see you this Sunday, East of the River Comics and Collectible Show, Enfield, Connecticut, at the American Legion. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Geekonomics. We're back. It's another Monday. It's another show. Brian's here. I'm here. We're going to talk everything that happened in the past week. We had finales for Peacemaker, finales for Vox Machina, and a bunch of other stuff we're going to talk about as well. I'm sure Brian has tons of news for everybody to listen to. I'll be there as well. So, Brian, how's things? How are you? How has your week been?
Well, Mark, I'm glad you asked, as I say every week.
Yes.
It'd be funny if I ever said, I wish you didn't ask. And then I just gave you really bad news.
There'd be no point in having the show.
I know. And then I just laid it. I just gave you the most depressing news of all time.
That would be sad. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. Even if you have depressing news, I don't want to hear it.
Not on the podcast.
Yeah. President's Day. We should be happy. I don't know.
We should be having sales. We should go shopping.
I bought new shoes yesterday because of President's Day. I didn't even know it was President's Day until I forgot about it.
You only know because there's a sale going on.
Yeah. No, I found
mattress sales.
I found a Skechers outlet in West Springfild. I didn't even know it was there.
We have one in Enfield now.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh. Where?
Where the plaza there. Not ShopRite. What's it now? Is it still ShopRite? It's ShopRite.
Yeah, ShopRite. Yeah. Oh, in that plaza, down by the Burlington side, where the Walgreens used to be.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we have a Men's Warehouse is there now too.
Yeah. Well, that's been there forever. It's the old Blockbuster.
No, not Men's Warehouse.
Burlington Coat Factory.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That moved from down
on Route 5.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't even know why it was there for all that time.
It was like a hidden gem of Enfield.
Yeah, it was. You didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, East Windsor technically, but whichever.
Anyway, this week I did finally finish Why the Last Man graphic novel, and it wrecked me.
It's a tough one.
It fucking wrecked me, man. I choked up. It's fantastic ending. A lot of crazy shit goes down. I don't want to ruin it. I suggest
it's been
reading it.
Almost 20 years now. So
yeah, but you know what? I don't want to root for anybody who's never read it. Go read
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure it's been read by many people. It's not like some random thing you found.
Yeah, but I mean, people are new generations are going to discover.
I know. I'm just saying, so that's what I mean.
And if you've never read a graphic novel, I suggest jump into that one because it is good. I did see on Friday, you were supposed to join me, but I knew you wouldn't. I saw Uncharted, which was really good.
I totally forgot about it, honestly.
No,
I'll admit, I totally forgot until you messaged in the group about the theater. I was like, oh shit, that was what I was supposed to do today. I knew there was something I was supposed to do with Brian. Well, I couldn't remember what it was.
Anyway, It was my review. I give it an 8, almost 9,
Wow.
because it was a fun freaking
This is
flick.
also on the Bryan scale, so it's like the Bryan scale is always a
Hold
little
on,
bit tilted.
hold on, hold on. I love the Uncharted games. They are amazing.
Yeah.
I just replayed 4 and Lost Legacy, which are phenomenal.
Mm.
Going into this, I had low expectations because I was not too keen on Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg portraying these two characters.
Yeah.
Now I left the theater going, they nailed the feel of these characters. They didn't have to look like them.
Yeah.
But they gave me that feeling that I get it. It's their own thing, but they did a great job at it.
Yeah.
I can't. If it sucked, I would have walked out and been like, but I walked out with a smile on my face. It was action packed. The movie was never boring. It was a great action adventure flick. It had it had subtle humor. It was never boring. It was always a fun watch. Tom Holland is just like amazing. And they had a Nolan North cameo who plays the voice of Nathan Drake, which was awesome. The girl who plays Chloe nailed that character. She looked just like the character from the game. So there were some characters that looked like characters from the game, but I loved it. I really loved it, and I hope they make another one. And it was #1 at the box office this weekend. Tom Holland has now two
movies in the top
2 big
3
movies, back to back #1s. So what I really want to tell you about this MGM. I get there. There is no, like, I've never been to the casino.
No wayfinding whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just a sign that says Regal. But there's no door that says come in here. You have to go through the casino.
Yeah.
So my first time going to this casino. So I walk in and I'm reading the sign.
That you can call a casino. I mean, it's really just a slot parlor.
Still at the casino. It's it's very nice. I mean, I would love to be there in the summertime when everything's bustling and there's a band playing.
Yeah.
So I go there and it's upstairs.
Yes.
I go upstairs. They got a nice bar for food and liquor. You go down, it's a beautiful place. And it blew my mind how big these screens were. Yeah. Every screen was ginormous. The seats were comfortable as all hell. And I'm just kind of like so jealous what a beautiful theater that is. And you go to Enfield's and it's like a shit show. And it took me 15 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
On the highway. I mean, the great thing is I went to an early showing. Parking, that sucks. I got there.
Because everyone in Springfield parks there.
There was nobody parked in the little parking area. Yeah. When I left, the place was packed.
Yeah.
Because everyone's gambling, eating.
Well, not even that. The gimmick is that the town didn't really. I don't know if MGM didn't realize this or the town didn't realize this when they built that place. The casino, it's free parking.
Yeah, it should be. It's always free parking.
Yeah. So what the sneaky people of Springfield have decided, like even people who work in downtown Springfield, just park at the casino.
Yeah, but this is nighttime.
I know what I'm saying. Like during the day, even like if you go there like during the day, the garage is full and there's like hardly anyone inside the place because everyone that works in town within walking distance just parks at the casino.
I didn't go in the garage. I went to this little tiny
across from Red Rose.
It was next to where they have the bands. It was next to the Kringle Candle. There's this Kringle Candle Emporium thing.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I would love to be there with nicer weather. But anyway, it was a great, cool place. I like the theater a lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went early because there was a decent amount of people there already.
Yeah.
It was like 3:00 showing. 3:30. Anyway, I did that. And I watched 2 more episodes of Murderville, and Conan O'Brien has been the best episode so far.
Yeah.
Kumail was really good, second best. We watched one with Anne Murphy. It was all right. It had one good moment, but I feel like if you're not a comedian on that show, it's a tough really one.
Know what's going on.
Each episode's very different, but it's a fun watch. It's because at the end I like to guess.
Yeah.
who the killer is because you get clues.
Yeah.
And then the guest has to guess who the killer is. So
Yeah.
I like, it's going to be that person. It's going to be that person.
Mm.
So that's fun. But definitely watch it. But that Conan O'Brien episode, nothing compares to it. It was the funniest one so far.
You know, if you like that, a show you might want to check out. It's more of it's a game show more than anything. It's on ABC. Craig Ferguson hosts it. It's called The Hustler.
The Hustler.
The Hustler, yeah. And it's all like there's 4 people, and one of them is the hustler, and their like job is to get through the whole game. I mean, they survive the whole game, and like you vote, like the 4 people vote out individual people as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But the hustler always stays, and then it ends up with being like 3 people, and the 3 people have to like decide like who the hustler is, and like there's like clues all during the game and everything, and like the people in the like you watching the show don't know who it is either.
Yeah.
So Claire and I basically sit there and we're like trying to figure out who the person is and which one's which. And
what do they do though? Like I know
they answer like trivia questions.
Oh, okay.
And it all pertains to like the hustler, and it's all they have like stuff that they are into and stuff like that. So it gives you clues as the thing goes on, and then like in the hustler, like we'll try to miss some questions that throw people off their game and different things. It's really interesting. It's a real interesting concept.
I'll check it out. It's on ABC.
Yeah, it's also on the Hulu. So.
Yeah, that's that's all I have. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's like I think they're like a couple seasons in now, but it's pretty good. And Craig Ferguson doesn't even know as the host. Like that was his whole thing was I don't even want to know who it is either, because I want to be trying to figure it out during the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did finish Cowboy Bebop. I want to go through it real quick, but I'll let you go. How was your week? And then we'll go to Cowboy Bebop after that, because that's going to
be pretty quiet week. Nothing crazy over the weekend. Like I just sent you guys last week. I don't know if I mentioned it last week after Valentine's Day, but Claire got me the R2-D2 Lego Star Wars.
You did mention it, I believe.
Model, the big one.
Yeah.
And
how long did it take you?
7 hours.
See, it would have taken me a couple weekends. I would have worked on it and then came back.
I can't do that because I would just be thinking about it the whole time.
You were on a roll, huh?
Well, once you get into it, you can't stop.
I know. It gets addicting.
Yeah. Because I thought about that because I started it, we like did some things on Saturday, ran around, did some stuff, and then like I got home and I'm like thinking like, all right, I'm gonna start this thing. I started around 5 o'clock and I texted you right before I started it.
Yeah.
13 bags plus the little mini bags inside the bags. So probably a total of like 30 bags.
Jesus.
Total. Started at 5 o'clock, took a break for like a little bit to have something to eat. Then went back to it, finished it around 1.
Wow.
I just couldn't stop. It's huge. Like there it is.
It's a foot tall, and there it is.
On the shelf there. I had to move that shelf to make room for it.
Right. Yeah.
To adjust the space because it was too tall for the shelf where it was. So I actually had to move it down to make it room, make it fit. But
so does this head turn? The head turn?
Head turns. There is a part that comes off the head where there's a lightsaber that can come out.
Oh.
And then there's on the back, there's the antenna part comes up and spins around.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got the little things on the chest where the like little arm droid, little arms come out.
Does it wheel? Like, does it?
Doesn't wheel. There's no wheels on it.
All right, that's kind of a good thing.
But it does have the thing like the bottom leg extends like in and out. Like you can set it up so it's 2 legs, or you can set up with the 3.
Oh, we gotta have the 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a lot of detail.
It is a lot. It's a lot.
It's all the inner.
It's like a Technic Lego, like the ones that are like the mechanical. Lego, and it's like a regular Star Wars one. So there's like a lot of inside. Like it's a lot.
I hate. Okay, this has happened to you when you're building, and you, for some reason, you misinterpret the instructions, and you're off by a thing, and then you got to take something apart.
Yes.
But then you have to take one thing apart, and then you have to take another thing apart because that thing is on top of that thing. Oh, yeah.
And this one, well, at least now they give you that orange like separator, which is Like I have like thousands of them now because they're
Yeah.
like all over the
Each one comes with this thing. Yeah, it's a lifesaver. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
It is. But yeah, no, there's and it's tough with this one because it's the dark blue of the coloring of the droid.
Yeah.
Is like on the paper, it's really tough to decipher like which is
blue?
which.
Yeah.
If it's like a turn or just a regular. There's a lot of little pieces too, a lot of like 1s and 2s and.
Oof. I want to get one. I'm gonna try to get one this summer.
It's an experience. It was a project, let me tell you. And then it's Sunday, because Jeremy Wise helps put on the show over at the Big E.
Yeah.
The RV and camping show was this weekend at the Big E. It's going on today still, actually, at the Big E.
Wow.
So Jeremy Wise gave us a couple tickets to come check it out because I've always been telling him, like, I want to see this thing. I want to like experience this because I've never been to it before. And he's always like works on it and talks about it all the time. So went and checked it out. That is a whole world I had no idea about.
RVs, yeah.
Yes. It's a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
And there's
cool. I would love
massive money going on.
Yeah.
There's people buying RVs right there at the show.
Oh, of course.
We went to one. It was $50,000.
Wow.
And it was it had like a king size bed in the front, and then the back had like a full size living room with an island, like a
oh my God.
island in the middle of it.
How big was this thing? How could you drive it?
Was huge. It was a trailer. You had to pull this thing somewhere.
Jesus.
And I was telling the Claire as we were walking around, I was like, I don't think I ever could do the trailer part. Like I can never do the trailer thing. I'd always be worried I'd set it up wrong and it would come off or fall off or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I would probably have to do like the actual driving ones, like has like the front like regular car part and then the rest of the camper behind you thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
Yes, those things are awesome. Winnebagos, RV.
Yeah, no, the Winnebago had a whole booth, just Winnebagos.
Yeah.
There's all these different campgrounds and everything. But yeah, it was quite the experience. I would suggest if you're into camping at all, I would say check out.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not really camping.
You're just actually, because that was my thing.
The hotel
I said
with
to
you.
Claire as we were walking through it, I'm like, this says it's a camping and RV show. This is just an RV show, really. It's not like there's a
camping isn't a tent. This is you're bringing your hotel with you. I mean, let's be honest.
I can never tent. I tented when my parents took us tenting, camping.
Yeah, that's real camping.
And there were 6 of us in my family, and we were young. Oh God, I can't think. I had to be like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Around that age. And my parents bought a 6-person tent and a huge air mattress. And one night in New Hampshire, we all slept in one tent on one huge air mattress.
Oh my God.
It was the worst experience of my life. And I don't think I'll ever be able to tent ever because of that.
Horrible. One person moves, that air mattress moves. It's
the worst.
Yeah.
It's also 6 people. And it was like, Mariah was like really little. So there's like 4 kids, 2 adults. Not fun. I was like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, I've never been a big, like my dad was a huge camper when we were younger. Like we'd always do the tenting thing. And I think one time we stayed in my grandparents' trailer in New Hampshire somewhere. And I was like, I'm a trailer person. I'm definitely not a tent.
Staying in a trailer is so much better. Come on. I mean,
like
a bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a bed.
Yeah. I need a bathroom. I need like actual
things.
There's a reason we built these things. We didn't, like my ancestors did that. I don't need to like get in touch with them.
Yeah.
They did. They went through all this stuff, so we didn't have to sleep in tents.
Yeah. If they came back, guess what? They're not going to go back to that tent.
They're not going to be like, why am I going to go stay in this wood building? I'm going to go live in a house somewhere. I'm not gonna
exactly.
sit in a tent.
It's so silly.
I'm not in the military. Why are you tenting?
Or glamping. Glamping.
Yeah, that's a Francia thing. Francia is a glamper.
No, that's a real thing. People do.
I know. They go into a yurt somewhere.
Yeah.
Or wigwam or teepee, whatever they call it.
Wigwam.
Wigwam. No one's wigwamming anymore. Why not?
Let's bring wigwamming back.
I don't know why. I love that word.
Wigwam.
I remember I learned that in like fourth grade. We learned about
wigwam
or some Indian or some Native Americans. The wigwam, and I was like, "That's a word."
That's a word. It is a great word.
It's a great word.
We should bring it back. We're bringing wigwam back.
I'm gonna go wigwamming this weekend.
Just gonna use it for everything.
Yeah.
Man, I had a wigwam kind of weekend.
Yeah, a wigwam.
What does that mean? I don't know.
It's crazy. It was all over them. It was wigwam, man.
All right, Mark. Well, I'm glad you had a great weekend. Sounds very exciting.
Yeah. It was a good time.
So I finished Cowboy Bebop, and I have so many thoughts, and I don't want to dwell on it. I'm not coming here to be a negative Nancy. I do have thoughts.
Why does Nancy get pegged with that? What did she ever do?
Because she's always negative. What do you want from me? I don't know who this Nancy person is, but she's negative.
I don't know. How did she get stuck with it?
All right.
What about Negative Nelly or something like that?
Negative Nelly. So what I'm thinking is I have pros and cons, and I have a final thought.
Jerry Springer.
Yes. I will say my pros and cons, and if you have anything to add to what I just said,
I will
do it. If not,
that's the whole business model of the show.
Right. If you don't, if I said it good and you're like, yeah, I agree, well, we'll continue on.
Okay.
Now, I want to say that I did watch, when the show first dropped, I'm a person who likes to watch or read the original material or watch the anime.
We know. We heard.
I watched
talked about it before.
I watched the entire anime and I fell in love with it. I love the soundtrack, love the characters. I loved everything they did. Basically, I'm not an anime person, but my God, I understand why this anime is so beloved. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. And I'm glad. I will say this is an asterisk on this whole thing. I'm glad a live action thing did happen to motivate me to watch that anime. So there's a plus right there. Okay. Here are my pros. The cast. The casting, is it Mustafa Shakari as Jet was spot on. His voice
was identical almost.
Identical. Yeah. He played the part perfectly.
Yeah.
I thought John Cho as Spike was as close as you're gonna get to Spike.
You can't get much better than that.
He played it cool. He played it laid back.
Yeah.
He knew that character. And
he was a fan of the anime, you can tell.
Yeah. Daniela, who played Faye, not saying the writing for her, but she played that character well. I thought she did a great job too.
Yeah.
Even the kid who played Edward at the very end, as much as Edward's not my favorite, he nailed Edward.
He did.
And the kid, come to find out, was a huge Cowboy Bebop fan. And this was his first acting job. And he was ecstatic. So I don't want to shit on him for that because it's a kid. First of all,
like one scene?
Yeah. It's first of all, it's a kid. He nailed the look. He sounded just like Edward. That's Edward.
Who knows what we were going to get with the second season.
Right. Now, people can shit on that all they want, but it's just like, that's how Edward was in the anime.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, folks.
Yeah.
But I give it a plus in my book. Okay. So those are pros.
He's also in one scene, so you can't right. You can't blame him for the show not being good.
Yeah, he has no relevance to this show being canceled at all.
No.
I thought the music was awesome because they brought back Yoko, the original composer.
Yeah.
The music, the soundtrack, I listen to it constantly. I love the soundtrack. Surprisingly enough, I did, as much as I have problems with some of the aspects, I did enjoy episode 9, the history of Spike and Vicious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was, because at that point, that's all I just told myself, this is a different beast, Brian. And I actually enjoyed that episode for what it was. It wasn't my favorite episode, but I did enjoy it.
Well, here, let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Did you think your feelings towards the show were different, knowing this was it. Like if
Could
you had
be.
watched it before they canceled it,
No, I
do
still
you think you
have.
would have had different feelings towards the show?
No, because I didn't like some of the writing and choices they took. I thought it was a mistake for what they did. Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
That's a good question. Hold on. The first episode was my favorite episode of the whole series.
Yeah, it was the
Only
closest to the anime of all of them.
because it was a very close copy to the
Yeah.
very first episode
Yeah.
and the movie. Now the cons. No, well, before I go to the cons, pros. You anything you got to add to the pros?
For me, the
Positive
pros, the CG was really well done for a Netflix show. You know, some of them you get kind of hokier, like that Jupiter show, which I can never remember the name of.
Yeah.
Like the bad wigs, stuff like that. So Netflix is not always the best for that kind of stuff. This one was good. I think it captured the feel of the anime. You know, in like the relationships of the characters and everything. Like that feeling of them like in the show and to this was pretty well similar to me. Like you said, John Cho he is Spike basically. I like as soon as he popped up on screen, I'm like, yeah. Who else could do that? I couldn't think of anyone else that would be able to be that character. A lot of the side characters were good. I was a fan of. I like that they kept the bounty hunter show as like the go between different things.
I enjoyed that too.
Yeah. That's about
Okay,
all
that's
the
fine.
good stuff.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I listed a bunch of stuff too. I'm sure you agree
Yeah.
with. So let's move on. Now here's the cons. The cons. This is why I had a problem with the show a little bit. The writing. For me, I did not like the fact that Jet having a family and a kid. It just
He didn't need a bad
cliche.
story.
No, in the cartoon, there's an episode they delve into his past.
Yeah.
And he was not attached. He did have a love of his life,
Yeah.
but he was not married. And it made it more interesting. This to me was just like writers from a 90s sitcom that was just like, here's a cliche.
It seemed like to me with that, it seemed forced.
Yes. You know why?
Like, a producer or somebody higher up in the production company was like, you know what? We need Jet to have a family. I think he needs to be attached to something.
Well, it was a writer's because they used his daughter. They used his daughter to be kidnapped at the end. And I was like, come on. How would they even know? Like, this just seems so silly. I didn't buy that at all.
Yeah.
Episode 6, which was Binary Two-Step, which is based off Brain Scratch in the anime, is actually one of my favorite episodes. That's when the show lost me. They murdered that episode. Now, I would have been fine if they updated it, if they took those core values of that episode and they made it updated, but they
tried to
wandered it away with this whole lesbian thing, that dialogue was the worst. Having to watch Faye and some other chick talk about orgasms, I was like, this is just bizarre. I didn't like it. I didn't find it like
not even for like the reasonings like you would like, not even for any like weird reasoning, just like the fact that it was just badly written.
It was just bad. Like
they were like given bad dialogue. It wasn't their fault. It was just, it seemed like there was like,
I'm not blaming the actors. I'm saying the writers don't know what they're doing here.
No, like the Jet stuff. It seems like there was some decision in the producers or somewhere where someone like tried to force things into the show. I don't know if it was the production company or whoever the like producers of it is.
The writers, Mark. The writers.
Well, I know, but the writers just do what they're told mostly. Like they can be changed. The writers, if they get bad writing, the people doing the show can change it. It seemed like they were like trying to shoehorn things in to make it like modern, if you will. Like they're like, oh, well, Jet would have had a family. Let's bring that into the show.
I would.
Faye's a lesbian. Let's make her a lesbian and have her have a relationship with some random person who means nothing to anything with the show.
The writing was very westernized to the point of kind of silliness, and it was just kind of
like they tried too hard to, like, I don't know. It was like
westernize it.
What it seemed like it was like somebody from Hollywood got a hold of something from Japan. It is exactly what happened, and decided that they had to make it fit into like a Hollywood type show.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be that. Like, there was no.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done Cowboy Bebop in a whole different way, and it would be amazing if they had just stayed with the themes of the anime.
And if they
kept everyone the way that they were in the anime, you would have been golden. You would have 5 seasons.
If they stuck with the themes and updated them and actually like said, well, the writing in the anime was very creative, let's be creative too. But they just went back to these old cliches that really added up to nothing.
What lost me, the main thing that lost me in the show, the Julia character. I did not care about her whatsoever.
I know. Put a pin in that. We're going to say before we get into the Julia, because that's a big conversation for me. Yet again, the writers were like, "Hey, Vicious has a name, an adjective name. Let's give Spike Fearless." His name was never Fearless. Spike was always his name. It was stupid. So you're telling me everybody from the Syndicate has adjectives for names?
Yes.
That's the stupidest thing I ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
Like his name is Spike. There was no reason to give him that other name.
Yeah.
I thought that was so weird, and it just, you didn't need it. I
didn't need it. It was very strange.
The actor who played Vicious, he to me, his faces at the end were just comical. I was never scared by him. The original Vicious does not show up very much, and when he does, he's like Darth Vader. He has power. This Vicious just became this whiny
brat.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
Like the whole thing with him and his dad being the leader of the Syndicate.
So Vicious, whiny, kind of bratty. He didn't, near the end, I didn't find him to be that intimidating.
No, like I was saying, is like the whole thing with him and his dad was just like unneeded.
Yeah, it kind of was. I agree with you there.
But again, westernized.
It was westernized.
Forced westernization into the show.
Here we go. The ending, which is the Real Folk Blues Part 1 and 2, which is an epic ending to any series. The anime, the creator of the anime said, "This is it. We're ending the show. We're not coming back. This is all I want to do." And he ended it in such a powerful, meaningful, sad way. That like, even when I watched the anime and when these actions take place, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. I say go see it. I was heartbroken, but it was a great ending. And the fact that they used this episode as a template to end season 1 to me made no sense. I almost felt like that could have been the ending of the whole series when it got to that point. You're almost blowing your load so early.
Yeah, they pigeonholed themselves into basically ending the series.
And then
like he blew the biggest thing.
I did not like the Julie thing turning on Spike. And spoilers here. You know why it made no sense? Because they never foreshadow it once.
No.
Has she ever said, "I want to be the leader of the Syndicate" to anybody?
No. It made no sense whatsoever.
How did this girl, this timid woman, who
turned into a mob boss, basically,
right? And she's got Vicious like handcuffed.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and and she's basically saying, "Well, you're an elder now. Nobody sees the elders, and I will be speaking for you." But I'm like, okay, literally, he killed the elders like episodes ago.
Yeah.
And he's been walking around, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
So to me, it made no sense.
Yeah.
The Julie thing, I didn't like her. I thought they murdered her character.
Yeah, it was a bad decision on her. Like, that character is just terrible. It was a terrible casting. Like, the actor wasn't good.
I didn't think she was that good either.
It was just bad all around. It was just it wasn't even the spirit of the character. It was just not there. Like, that was like the one missed like casting, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird.
the biggest miss of all the castings was that.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense.
Now, so my final verdict, Mark, and I want to know.
And the other thing that I disliked before you get into your final verdict,
sure,
was how they break up the crew basically
at the end.
Yeah,
it was
like
lame.
Spike and Jet don't like get into a fight.
Yeah, and wait,
Al leaves.
It made no sense that Faye originally, Faye and Jet were
Valentine,
like,
Faye
was they were like, well, I'll help you. So why would Faye and Jet split? They should be together because Jet said, I'll help you find your family, who you are. And that was something they said without Spike in the room. So they could continue. I don't know why she was just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they would make a season 2 with that ending. Edward shows up, and honestly,
and the thing with him is that made no sense to me, and that threw that off with that was that like him and the dog were like intertwined in their story.
Near the end, yes.
But
how do you get he must have found the dog. The dog must have been wandering around.
I don't know. That's my thing. It was like there was no it made no sense.
I know.
Like the reason that they hooked up with Edward was because of the dog.
He's a hacker. Well, he's a hacker.
They had like a whole story like in the first season of how like he got involved in this. But there was never any like reasoning for it. He just appears kind of. And it was like, why?
Edward was mentioned throughout this live action series.
But I mean, like not like in a way that made sense. Like not in a way to connect him to the story. Really,
it didn't make any sense. And I would have.
They found him, whereas he found them in this show, which kind of ruins the whole thing of him.
Yet again, I feel like the writers don't know what they're doing with these characters. Also, Edward, I would have been fine if they never brought Edward into the show.
Yeah,
I mean, he's kind of gets on my nerves sometimes.
Well,
he's not my favorite character. He's great in small doses. Now he doesn't show up in the anime until like halfway through. So it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know, man. I was kind of disappointed. I love some aspects of it. I didn't like some aspects of it. It doesn't bother me. It got canceled at all.
And I think I'm
not disappointed by that.
I'm just not like it's been a while since I've saw I tried rewatching the whole anime again, never got through it. This like the third like a bunch of times I've seen it, but I always thought Radical Edward was a girl.
There's an episode where you meet Edward's dad, and the dad says, "My son."
Oh, that's right.
Okay. But then he goes, "Or could be a girl."
Yeah.
And they make it ambiguous.
Yeah.
Constantly, Edward's being called.
Yeah.
A boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Depending on who the person is.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a girl. Then the whole episode when you meet Edward's father and you find out what happened.
I do remember that now. Yeah.
He says, "My son," but then he goes, "But I could miss. Maybe I don't know. I don't know." It was like a whole running joke.
Yeah.
Running joke.
But I think like it was just I don't know. The whole show just seemed like they started off with the best of intentions and it just didn't work out.
I will say that first episode, it's interesting. That's the first episode. They introduce you to Faye.
Yeah.
But then you don't see her again till like episode 3 or 4, which is very weird. But that episode is the strongest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Because they're copying the show at the anime. And then the rest, they're like remixing plot lines, but they're not doing a very good job of it.
Yeah.
My final verdict, Mark, I will say we had a westernized Cowboy Bebop, but it went by a different name. It was Firefly.
Yes.
I hate that the entire time I'm watching the anime going, Josh Whedon gave us the westernized version of this, and it's called Firefly, and it was an original idea.
Yeah.
And they had elements just like Cowboy Bebop, where they brought in different elements of different genres and made it their own. And it's original, it's fun. So
if they had made Firefly instead of them being like if they'd made them bounty hunters and made more of a bounty hunter show with Firefly, it'd been on for more than one season.
Well, yeah, all I'm saying is I think Firefly, if you want to see a live action Cowboy Bebop, that's original idea, it's Firefly in my book. Like Firefly is.
I mean,
everything.
You can guarantee right now that space westerns sell. Like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett is the best space western in the world right now.
Well, because it has an IP behind it. So
but I'm saying
tougher.
even the story itself, the bounty hunter, like Western bounty hunter space story.
Yeah.
It's a selling point. Like I'm all into it.
Yeah. So Cowboy Bebop, the anime, I give it a 10. The live action show, I would give it a 6, but I give it a 7 because it made me watch the anime. So I give it an extra point because it motivated me to do such a thing.
I'm the same. I give it about a 7. It wasn't the worst.
Wasn't the worst, but
interpretation
it wasn't the best.
I've ever seen. It wasn't the best. It was just the middle of the road. I think if they'd gotten a second season, it could have.
They would really had to get new writers in there.
I don't know how they could have, like you said earlier. I don't know how you would like the story they wrote. Really, there was no. I don't know how you would continue that. There was no junction points that led you to.
It was a bad ending.
Would Spike and Julia end up fighting each other? Would he end up having to kill her?
I mean, in the anime, Julie does. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about the anime, but anyway, still, yes. Now you're going to make Spike and Julie become at odds.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense that she was like, you left me there, and he was just like, well, he told me that you wanted to be with him. Yeah. So what do you want from me? And
how am I supposed to know what's going on?
So why would?
And then, by the way, he tried killing me, so I was dead.
So it makes no sense. So she shoots Spike, but not Vicious, the man who's been abusing her this entire time.
So it was it was a weird.
Made no sense.
How to say it in a nice way, but a positive abuse story. It was a promoting abuse. If you abuse somebody long enough, they'll just decide to side with you and just lock you up instead of
taking you out,
which made no sense.
She should have shot him.
Yes. Exactly.
It made no sense. The guy that you had a connection with and you were in love with, he had no idea. So give him the benefit of the doubt.
And you were and you've been longing for him this whole show.
Right. So you take him out. You shoot him out of a window.
On a whim. And the other thing that I didn't understand, which I don't remember from the anime, was the whole bartender, club owner story that they intertwined into it.
There is none.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And try to make them freedom fighter kind of things.
Well,
try to Casablanca a little.
They changed. Okay, the girl from Law and Order.
Yeah.
That is Francis Spike. That's the shop owner in the anime. That's who.
That's what I thought.
She's the shop owner.
Gotcha.
Then the bartender, who is I think a gay guy or transgender.
Yeah.
They ruined that. That was a great episode too. That's the one you meet. There's a comrade of Vicious, and they
isn't that the guy? Yeah,
they the saxophone player
together. The whole saxophone player story.
Yes, that's
where Julia finds him. Doesn't Julia take off and find him? And that's the whole thing.
They really could have done that story, and it would have been of modern times.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the world we live in, that would have been a great story to tell.
Yeah.
But no, they just, hey, we'll give you the bartender job.
Yeah.
That's a great character.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. They made some weird choices.
Very weird.
And I don't know where the choices were determined, or if it was the showrunner or whoever to push these.
It's the showrunner and the writers. They're the ones.
I'm saying, but someone had to push these ideas along. So it's just kind of crazy that they went in this direction. That
I know
nobody was there's a whole really good story sitting here that we could use.
Yeah, you can modernize it, and
you don't have to do much. Work. Just tweak little things here and there. I don't need to go full other direction on everything.
Right. So I think, other than that, Mark, that was
Vox Machina.
We have to talk about Vox Machina.
Yes. Last 3 episodes.
I watched the last 3 this morning. Man, oh man.
Man.
I don't want to ruin it. People go watch it.
Yes.
It's a great show. I mean, I know we ruin a lot of things. We're going to ruin the Peacemaker, but
yeah,
for this, I feel like
they're quick enough that you can get through them. There's literally 3 weeks, 20 minutes each.
It's going to set up season 2.
It's really simple, quick watches, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's made me want to get back in the D&D again,
which it sounds like we might be.
Yeah, which I'm excited about because it's like, which is like, this has been like the other like great thing I saw online from watching the reviews of this and reading up on the reviews of the show is it's been a month-long ad for Dungeons and Dragons. The show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, this is how awesome Dungeons and Dragons can be. You could do this if you play with your friends.
Yeah, and we've done that. We've had those moments.
No, I know. Yeah, so it's great. It's like all the different things. It's really cool.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean, it'd be fun since we've gotten ourselves to go over our friend Jeremy's house.
Yeah,
and just play down there, and that would be fun. Just to play some one-offs, and and I know Bobby. I know Bobby's listening, our friend Bobby, but the only thing I could say is I cannot predict what I'm doing that so far away.
Yes, exactly.
And if the weather's nice, I will want to be outside. So I'm not going to want to be playing D&D.
Yeah.
So I can't make any plans that far away.
Yeah. But no, I'd even be like, I know we're talking about playing, like you were just saying, playing again. I'd be fine with rolling new characters and making this a whole separate campaign.
Yes, I think that's what John wants to do.
I think I want to be a barbarian.
Yeah.
I want to rage, and I want to like just slice things up constantly. I want to be Grog. I want to just beat things up.
That I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd do that.
I know I played the rogue last time, and it was fun being schmarmy and sneaky and coursing weird things that happen.
You want to play something different.
I want to just beat things up. I want to just hack and slash.
I want to
know much.
Like
I don't want to be a brain. I don't want to know anything. I just want to be the muscle.
Yeah. I think that's what John was saying. We're just like a new campaign.
Yeah.
We can finish the other one when we get to it.
You cannot be anything that involves spells because you're terrible at it.
I don't. Yeah. I didn't know what being a wizard entailed. I don't want to be a wizard anymore.
Thank God. But the thing is, you need to have someone that has some kind of spells of some sort.
I know. I'm going to be a bard, probably. That's
really need a cleric. I think that's like your main thing. You need like a healer.
Yeah, I could be that too. Actually.
Yeah.
Actually.
And you are very good with the religious characters. You play really good religious.
Oh yes.
People.
That one game we're playing. Jeez, I play the church. What do you want from me? So anyway, Vox, I give it the shows. For me, it was a 10. The whole a 10. 10.
It was great. Like I literally was watching the last episode. I'm like, oh, I'm so sad this is the last one. When is the next one coming?
But then did you see? I mean, that the final shot.
Gotta be dragons.
Yes, I was just like, yes.
Huge story, I guess, in the Critical Role. My sister Kylie, who also listens to the show, is very mad that we even brought her in to talk about the show.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't know this was the final.
I didn't know this was the final one, and I wasn't planning. And she's off today too, so I don't know if she would have time today. But I want to bring her in and have her come and talk about Critical Role at all, as like as a whole. Like do a show just about Critical Role because there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
I don't have time to really delve into it because there's like a whole universe that I don't really know anything about.
Yeah,
and I know you kind of are into it a little bit.
I used to listen to them a long time ago.
Yeah. My sister and brother are big into it, and I know other people are like, it's a huge thing. Yeah. And this is all from them. Like this is the show is all they're doing and all that. So I kind of want to like bring her in and have her talk about that whole thing and kind of be like a intro to Critical Role show, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
To bring people into it. Because I know we got her into Dungeons and Dragons kind of roundaboutly.
Yeah, we did.
So I think that'd be cool to have her come back. And
I remember we had Matt Ryan on the podcast way back when.
Yes.
He didn't even know what we started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and he told Matt Ryan didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons was.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode where Matt Ryan is like, "What are you talking about?"
Learns about Dungeons and Dragons, and then he became a huge Dungeons and Dragons guy.
Yeah, but him and
Francia.
Yeah, but I want to call
Oh.
it Willie. Will, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, but I can't say his name.
Zizniak.
Yes, they
Yeah.
were both on the
Wally.
show. Wally and John was explaining. You tell
He said the
stories.
weird name and it threw me off.
I know. I was
My
like,
brain
really?
wasn't connecting. I was like, what? I don't know who that person is.
And John, I remember explaining to Matt, yeah, you tell a story, and they were just kind of like, what? And
Yeah.
it was like, I remember that them not knowing anything about Dungeons and Dragons. And then he started doing it.
Yeah. And then Kylie started playing with him, and then she came. Now she's hardcore. She DMs. She has all this stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we should definitely have her on when we have a slow week.
Yes, which we'll find randomly
eventually, but we will make room for her.
Yes, there's gonna be time coming up soon. There's not a lot going on the next month or so besides Batman.
Next week we'll be talking about Foo Fighters.
Yes, Studio 666. See that on Thursday.
We're seeing Thursday, and the following week we'll be seeing Batman.
Yes,
but probably
and
after
should
that,
be quiet for a couple weeks until Moon Knight. So
yeah. So
we'll fit it in there.
We'll fit it in after Batman.
If it fits her schedule, we'll figure out a time that works with her.
But Peacemaker ended.
Anyways, Vox Machina.
Yes.
I gave it a 10 as well.
All right.
I thought it was fantastic. The acting and everything was great in it. And like I was saying, the thing with Critical Role, I know it's based off Critical Role stuff, and there's a part of me that wants to get into Critical Role.
It's a lot.
I know, but wants to listen to the story that they just did and see the differences to what their gameplay was and then what the story ended up being. But then I don't want to then get into more of Critical Role because the show is so good. I don't want to know what the next story is.
Right.
Because I heard that it's going to be based off. Well, everything's based off their campaigns.
Yeah.
I want to listen to this campaign by accident and then know everything that's going to happen in the show. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, their sessions are very long.
Yes.
And it's a very long podcast.
6 to 8 hours. I've heard long.
Yeah, it's long. I mean, they put it out in chunks, like an hour, 2 hour chunks on a podcast, and it's like you have to find 2 hours to listen to it while you're doing something that you can focus on what they're saying, because at times you can be like, what? Wait, what just happened? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Also, they started that podcast / video cast before there was so much more content now.
Well, the thing is, I think that this one that they just did is not a video. There wasn't a video one of this. I think this was their first podcast one.
Okay.
I know from, I'll be corrected by people, my sister and other people will correct me, but I think this one they never did video for. There was only audio. The Briarwood arc story. I don't think there ever was a full.
Well, when you start driving back to work, you could listen to it on your car ride.
Yeah, but then I want to keep listening. That's the downfall of it.
Yeah, but it'll give you something to listen to in the car.
Yeah, but then I want to, like I'm saying, I want to keep listening after I got to work.
Oh, well, if no one's there, you could listen to it at work while you're working.
Yeah.
I listen to podcasts at work when no one's around all the time.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, why not?
We'll see. But I'm more on lines of I don't want to know what's going to happen.
I hear you. You don't want to. I get you.
I'd rather be surprised and enjoy it that way. And then
I agree with you.
Go back after the fact and watch the. Yeah.
Let's talk about that finale of Peacemaker. Spoiler alert, because we're going to spoil the shit out of this.
Yes.
Yet for me, I'm going to come right out of the gate and say this show was a 10. I loved it. This finale was. I loved it.
It to me. Just shows that the issues with the DC universe isn't the characters.
It's the writing.
The writing is bad.
It's always been the writing. Come on.
They made bad choices in the people that wrote the stuff.
But James Gunn pulled it off. He
killed it.
It was
He made me care about a character that I shouldn't care about.
Right.
Which is what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
He made me care about all the characters in the show.
He invented a world that I actually want to be a part of. Like, I actually want to get into. Like, to be honest with you, if James Gunn was the DCU guy now,
he's not going to do that.
But I'm saying, but if he were to have done Justice League, I would probably be a DC guy.
Yeah, I don't think. See, I think James Gunn likes the underdog heroes, the heroes.
No, I
that don't
understand that,
really,
but I'm saying just the way that he writes and the way he wrote this
I
show.
agree with you.
Like if he had wrote that whole story between Batman and Superman, I would have actually cared what the result was,
it probably would have been better.
as opposed to what it ended up being.
Yeah, but let's not dwell in the past. Let's talk about what we saw, and what we saw I thought was a great ending. It gives you something for season 2, which has already been announced. It's going to be happening. They had some great character arcs. They had some great callbacks to Dyebeard that they came back up again, and how he admitted that he dyed his beard when he was pretending to be a butterfly, which was really funny. Dude, that fight scene with John Cena when they all came in there, guns blazing. That fight scene was really fucking good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was top notch for a television show. Yeah,
I mean, it also does, like, looking at it with a critical eye, it does also like hit the tropey things a lot. It like relies on the tropes. Sometimes a little too much.
You can hit the tropes as
like
long
the
as
him and his dad stuff sometimes gets kind of like, okay, we get it. Just you don't need to, like, we're gonna get into spoiler stuff. Like, we don't need to have his dad as a ghost now in his head.
Well, that's the thing. He is dealing with the fact that he did kill his dad, and now his dad is haunting him. It's all mental.
It's the whole season, another season of his dad and like being in his head.
Because that's
don't know if I need that. And
but we haven't seen it. We can't judge something we haven't seen yet. But what I'm saying is, his dad has been in his head this whole time.
Yeah.
So
the fact he kept Goth alive, I don't know if I need like that story to continue.
I think the storyline's dead, but Goth, that was cool. He kept him alive because he kept him in the jar and was the only good one. So,
well, supposedly, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, from what we were told, he was. So he came in peace. I thought that it showed humanity for Chris's character. And there's a change there where he probably would have killed it. I think that's
I could just see I could see the other side of people's complaining and things. That's all. I could see there's some things that I was like, all right, yeah, okay. Like the whole like Waller's daughter trying to blow the lid off of Task Force X. It's a little too
that's awesome.
Inside baseball stuff. It's like, all right, we don't need this whole story. Like, so then now what is Chris gonna like? He still has a bomb in his head. Like Waller could just blow his head up at any moment.
But he's not. But she's not. We know what
I'm saying. So it's like it just doesn't make like that part made no sense. It's like, so now you're gonna fight like a season 2 him fighting against Task Force X, because that just makes no sense. Like I don't understand like where that story would go in a way that would make sense.
We don't know until we see it.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Is like that was my only downside.
And I think that you can only do Task Force X so many times. So if now it's exposed,
well, they're making a second movie.
No, they're making a sequel to Peacemaker.
Well, they're making a second Suicide Squad movie too.
That hasn't been announced yet.
Well, it's pretty much
guaranteed. The show's been announced.
The show's been announced.
The show will probably come out before we get in Suicide Squad 2.
We'll see.
So,
but yeah, it just I don't know. That was my only thing I was not happy about with the finale. But everything else was really good.
You're right. I am not happy right now.
Well, no, it's just that was my only like thing I wasn't a fan of in the story. It was like it just didn't make sense story wise to me.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see how he gets himself out of it. That's all I got to say. Like how he writes his way out of it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We don't know until we see it. I can't.
But if we're going to be critical of Cowboy Bebop for writing issues, I'm going to be critical of Peacemaker writing issues.
But Cowboy Bebop had issues the whole show.
Well, no, I'm just saying if we're going to be critical, we're going to be critical all the way around.
Two different things.
Just because I like the show doesn't mean I'm not going to.
I hear you.
Pick on something, talk about something that I didn't think made sense.
That's fine. I get you. I respectfully don't agree with you, but that's fine.
Because you like everything.
No, I mean I'm fine with those choices. I'm fine with them. I don't really have anything major to criticize about.
I didn't say it was like a major criticism. I'm just saying it. Just to me, I was like, okay, if he was sent on this mission by Waller. It's all her people were in this crew. Like
No,
she built this.
It wasn't
She
sent.
built this crew.
No.
Waller put Mur with these two that were the Hardcore and Akanis and her daughter and
Yes,
Peacemaker were all
but
put together into this crew to go after the butterflies.
No, but don't forget the guy running the show was actually a butterfly.
I know, but Waller didn't know that.
Exactly. So there was another mission happening where
I
Waller
know,
had no
I know
idea.
what I'm saying, but she put that group together and put this Peacemaker mission into action. So her daughter now decides to go against this.
Yeah.
What keeps Waller from just pressing the button and blowing Peacemaker up?
We'll find out. Maybe they'll take it out.
That's how you can't. There's a failsafe on it. They talked about this in Suicide Squad.
I don't know, Mark. All right, let's not dwell on something we haven't seen yet.
That was the only thing to me that like they painted themselves into a corner with.
That's fine. We'll see how it pans out. But the episode itself, let's talk about the cameo, which was great when they're talking to Waller and she says Justice League, and then they show up late, and the best lines
without Batman, by the way.
Huh?
Without Batman.
Superman, Batman, Aquaman.
There was no Batman.
Yes, all four of them.
No, there was no Batman. It was Superman, Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman.
Batman. I think Batman was.
No, there was no Batman.
I thought they were all there. The whole Justice League.
Just the four of them were there.
It doesn't matter. I'm
just saying that was my one thing I noticed, that there was no Batman.
But
only actual Aquaman and Flash were there.
Yeah, they have the little quip back, you fish fucker. Thanks for being late.
Yeah,
which was great. And he's like, "Hey, it's only a rumor." He's like, "What is it?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck you, Barry."
Yeah.
I thought that was great, dude. I thought that cameo was perfect. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
It actually made those characters enjoyable.
Yes. It just shows again that the writing on their movies are terrible or have been terrible so far.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because you didn't really care about them before. Now you actually, and out of one scene, you're like, oh, imagine if they were normal people and not so weird acting.
I'm excited to see what this Flash movie is going to be, because I'm excited to see Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Yeah, well,
I want to see what that's all about.
We'll see what happens. Remember, it's not Gunn writing this; it's someone else. So who knows?
Yeah, I know, but I'm still interested to see what they do. So
it's not somebody that Marvel made into it, or that someone was actually good before with a Marvel property. It's now their own person again. So we'll see what happens.
I thought it was like, I don't know. The show was just great. I'm excited for season 2. It was the most in-demand streaming show the beginning of the year. It did very well for HBO. So I'm excited to see what Peacemaker season 2 brings us. I think John Cena did a fantastic job. I think it's like the role he was born to play.
Yeah.
Nailed it. He nailed it.
Douche. It's the role he was born to play.
Yeah. John Cena's an awesome guy.
He is. Went to Springfield College. Did he go to Springfield College? You're just making that up. No, he did.
I'm gonna Google.
He's from Massachusetts. He's from Shrewsbury.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah.
What's his real name? John
Cena.
No.
Yes.
Isn't that his wrestler name?
No. He's even said there's no way I would make up John Cena as a name for a character.
So where did you say he went to school? College or high school?
Springfield College. He played football at Springfield College. He went to the same time my cousin Jimmy went there, around that same time.
Okay, here we go. In an early age, Cena showed a passion for sports and working out. By the time he was 15, he was a regular gym rat. And after graduating high school, Cena headed off to Springfield College in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah. If there was one person that would make me ever watch wrestling, it would be see John Cena wrestle, because I could care less about wrestling, but he makes me care about wrestling.
The funny thing about this, he's basically the same person in wrestling. not as dumb acting and not as weird, but like that, like
Yes,
that
arrogant
aura
ass.
around
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not even the arrogance, but just like that aura of like him just being a normal guy outside of him being Peacemaker. Like when he's just in the trailer, just hanging out, just being himself, listening to 80s rock, like that kind of guy. That's his basically is. He just walks around in jorts and t-shirts and wrestles.
Jorts.
Yeah, he wears jean shorts.
I love me some jorts. I
Yeah.
had a pair. I couldn't pull it off.
Who didn't in the 90s?
I'm talking about now.
Oh, yeah. No.
No.
Yes, you do have a pair. I remember you wearing them before. Yes.
Once.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, so I mean, he's basically that's him. It's just John Cena.
Yeah. My favorite is definitely. I give this show a 10 overall. It was one of my favorite shows. I look forward to it every week. I literally look forward to every show Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now I have nothing.
Yes. Now we're waiting until Moon Knight.
Yes. What do you give the show overall, Mark?
Overall, I give it a on its own scale. I'll give it a 10. Against everything else, well, like against all the shows that have been out lately.
Oh, that's a good question. What was your favorite show out of the three? Out of the three we were watching weekly, what was your favorite?
Book of Boba Fett.
Okay, for me,
well, it's because I'm a Star Wars guy. I mean, that's it.
Well, so am I, but
yeah, but
I like Peacemaker more, just slightly more. But I like both of them. I mean, it's weird.
It's hard. You can't like really. They're all three different genres.
Yeah,
technically. So it's like you can't like.
For me, I look forward to Peacemaker just slightly more, but Book of Boba Fett was right there behind it, and then Vox was always like second or third.
Well, Vox was it's a cartoon, so it's kind of more of just an enjoyment thing.
Yeah.
I was actually like, once they brought in the Cad Bane story and everything and all that with Book of Boba Fett.
Once Book of Boba Fett brought a Mandalorian, my excitement level went up.
Yeah.
Like tremendously.
Yeah.
You know, or Peacemaker.
Well, it made me think like, because it like
Book
of Boba Fett to me was me as a kid just playing with my toys. Like, oh, I want to bring Boba Fett. Also bring like the toys I've bought. They're all in the same world, but don't ever see each other.
Right.
Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Cad Bane, random other people. And just play with all the toys in one, make your own story kind of thing. Yeah. That's what it was to me.
And we got Obi-Wan in May. I'm excited to see what the hell they do.
Man.
I just hope they can do it. I'm hoping they can pull it off.
I saw a something on Facebook that someone had posted where someone was explaining to somebody why Obi-Wan calls himself Ben. And it was honestly, if I could find it, I'll send it to you. But it was honestly the best explanation I've ever seen of the reasoning behind why he thinks Obi-Wan called himself Ben. There's a line in New Hope where Ben was talking to Luke and he's like asking about who Obi-Wan was.
Yeah.
He's like, Obi-Wan died around the same time your father died.
Yes. Yeah.
And the whole like theory that this person come up with is that to Obi-Wan, when Anakin turned to the dark side, not only did Anakin die when he's on that, when they're on Mustafar fighting, and he's like yelling at him and he's like, you were the one, you were like supposed to be the one that saves us and does everything.
Yeah.
Like, not only did Anakin die on that planet after that fight, in Obi-Wan's mind, so did he. And that's why he started to change his name to Ben. So that way, like, because in his mind, like, he died as well at that planet. Like, his brother, he failed his brother. He feels like he couldn't be that person anymore. And it made me think, like, as I was reading this, I'm like, oh my gosh, if they were to take this concept and make this show into that concept, like how, like, this story is the story of Obi-Wan dealing with the consequences of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
And him dealing with that loss of losing his brother basically to the dark side, and him failing, and the whole Jedi Order falling. It would be an amazing show.
They said there's going to be 2 lightsaber fights between him and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
I mean, part of me, it's like, I don't even want to know. Don't tell me that.
Well, the thing is, too, is I don't know if like, and I saw that, and I'm like,
it could be a rumor.
Actual physical, like I know physical fights, as in they filmed them, but I mean, like, will they be like story, like in the story canon fights, or will they be in Obi-Wan's like mind, like a Jedi thing, like with Luke when he fought Darth Vader on Dagobah, would end up being his own face in the mask.
I mean, I think
like that kind of thing will be like a force, like projection.
I think there's going to be a real physical fight. I mean, but I also think it could be a rumor, because how would anybody know? They're really top.
Well, because it'd also be too, because I do say like, because Darth Vader says last time we fought, I was but a learner, but now I'm the teacher. And like, so that would mean like they've fought since Mustafar. That would, like, the whole shtick of New Hope was that they hadn't seen each other since then.
Right.
And he's like, I thought you were dead this whole time, but now I'm going to be the one that kills you. And that's what it would kind of change that story, I think.
It's tough when you have something so old and then you're building around it.
Yeah.
Things change.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. You're right. You make a good point, Mark.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited for that. Excited for Moon Knight. Excited for Studio 666 this Thursday.
This Thursday, we will.
Have you heard the songs they've released of them as the death metal band?
No, nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing.
I have to admit, I'm excited to see this.
I want to know nothing. I'm very excited for this movie. Like I said to Rocky, no more trailers for anything. I'm already got the ticket.
Trailer. They actually released music.
But what's the name of the band?
It's their death metal band.
I know, but what's the name?
I don't remember.
Okay, so once I watch the movie, then I'll know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be ruined. I don't want to be spoiled.
It's not a spoiler. It's just the basis of the story.
I know.
They actually say what the story is. The whole shtick of the movie is that
I know
they're going to record their new album, but they go to a place that
I know.
This death metal band was recording a song, and every person who's come and recorded there,
I know,
died.
Stop telling me. You're ruining. I just don't want. I want to go in fresh. Fresh. We'll talk about it next week.
Oh my god!
All right, let's wrap it up. Like us, follow us, see us this Sunday, East of the River Comic Book and Collectible Show from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 9 a.m. is Earlybird. 10 a.m. is normal admission for $1. I will be selling stuff. You will be greeting people at the door.
Yes, if you mention the show, you'll get in for $1.
That's a deal.
Yeah, after 10 a.m.
Yeah, mention the
show and you'll get in for $1.
$1.
That's the deal I give to you guys.
You are amazing, Mark.
Hey.
That is so kind.
Best I could do. It's the best I could do. So
kind of you to do such a thing.
I know. I thought about it and I worked it around it, and I was gonna let everyone in for free, but I decided no. Scott's putting on the show.
We gotta make.
I should at least charge people $1.
Yeah, and they get the discount of $1 of paying $1.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So after 10 a.m., everyone gets in for $1.
Yay!
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
You're welcome.
This is the first announcement of the whole evening. All right. Like us, follow us. We'll see you guys next week. We'll be talking about the new Foo Fighters album movie.
Yes, and then previewing Batman.
Yes.
Comes out the 4th. So it's all going to be happening soon. So everyone, as always, be kind, be safe, be good.